this morning coming up. But first, that breaking news out of Georgia. Court documents show that federal prosecutors have reached a plea agreement in the federal hate crime trial for Gregory and Travis McMichael, connected to the 2020 death of Ahmaud Arbery. The documents filed late Sunday don't outline the details of the plea agreement. A change of plea hearing is set for next hour in Brunswick, Georgia. The judge will, of course, need to review and approve any agreement before the deal is accepted. The federal hate crime trial was scheduled to begin next week. What does it mean? Well, let's talk about it with Commonwealth Attorney Anton Bell. He's in Hampton, Virginia, and Criminal Defense Attorney April Preyar is in Chicago. Good morning to both of you. Bit of a surprise here. This news comes down yesterday. Plea deal. Obviously, from the McMichaels standpoint, Anton, you could see where they're going here. It's a lot better in the federal system than the state system if you're going to be serving decades in prison.
Absolutely. And what I would probably want to guess is that there is some sort of concurrent time running with their conviction and with the state conviction. And as such, as you've already heard, the family of Ahmaud Arbery is upset about this plea deal. And so I'm thinking there is some leniency in that regards where they're probably running some of this time concurrently as well.
Yeah, Lee Merritt, the attorney for the Arbery's, posted on social media several posts. One of them says, in part, both Wanda Cooper Jones and Marcus Arbery, the parents of Ahmaud Arbery, are vehemently against this deal. This proposed deal would allow the McMichaels to enter federal custody and serve the first 30 years of their sentence in a preferred federal prison. The family is devastated at this development. April, for families, victim family members, you could understand why, because they want the defendants to feel the full brunt of the system. From a taxpayer standpoint, you can also see why the government would enter into an agreement like this. Your overall thoughts about this development?
My overall thoughts are, hey, once you've been found guilty and sentenced to life on the state level, you don't have a whole lot to lose. And so, yes, it's a very cushy deal to be transferred to federal prison, to serve out your sentence in federal prison, rather than in the state system. So I think, yeah, I definitely understand the victims' parents' upset, and I understand the public uproar over this, but I mean, they really have nothing to lose by agreeing to this deal. And overall, it does save not only taxpayer money, but it also saves the family from going through yet another trial and hearing all this information come out once again.
Yeah, which they claim they wanted, Anton, and the reason they wanted it because it was so disgusting. And this federal trial was going to be about those things that we didn't hear in the state trial, the racist attitudes purportedly put to the McMichaels. They wanted that. They wanted that aired out. What about Roddy Bryant? He's not part of this deal, so you move forward with just him. It changes his prospects, does it not? Being next to the McMichaels doesn't work out very well, and he found that at the state trial. Getting rid of them is probably a good thing now for him.
Absolutely. It is a wonderful thing for him. His trial with the McMichaels, I think, was a nightmare for him, and the state was able to piggyback some of the evidence against him based on some of the evidence that was used with the McMichaels. And so he loves the idea of severing these trials. In addition to that, Mr. Bryant probably has the best chance of any type of an appeal. And as a result of that, he still has hope that maybe he can get that that sentence and that conviction overturned in some way. And if so, then it does not help him to plead guilty to something else.
Yeah, and then if he can get through this federal trial somehow and then have cross his fingers on the state, you're right. But the breaking news again is that the McMichaels are planning to plead guilty to the federal charges against them. A change of plea hearing has been scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning in Brunswick, Georgia. And, of course, it has to be ironed out. The family not happy about it, but apparently the federal government and the McMichaels have figured out a deal. Now, to our next